Refried scenes.
Hello.
Carol, how are you doing today?
I am not dying. That's if you had talked to me last week.
Yeah, well, you gotta always look at the bright side of life.
Yes. I'm getting over a bit of bronchitis, so my lungs hate me.
Oh no! Yeah.
And every muscle in my body is like, stop coughing, please.
He's just sore from all the coughing.
Yeah.
Well, it happens. Do you know who the culprit was?
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure it's someone at work because several of us are coughing like maniacs.
Oh,
I can't blame it on the kid.
Can't blame it on the kid. We just gotta go on a slapping spree at work. You'll get whoever give it to eventually. You'll find
eventually. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you could make it out today for this.
And I even made it to the movie theater yesterday.
You did, but the dedication. We could have just pushed this back. We could have just pushed this back.
We could have, I suppose, but then we wouldn't have been able to see it in the theater because it's going to be gone here in 24 hours, I think.
You're probably right. What are we here to talk about today?
Black Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say if you've never listened to the show before, but this is a Patreon show, so pretty sure all of you out there listening have listened to this show before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing Black Christmas.
Black Christmas, yes.
That's right. African-American Christmas.
Oddly, they wanted to change the name because they were afraid in 1974 that it would be mistaken for a blaxploitation film.
Well, for that time period, I could kind of understand that. My question is, how many black people came out and they're like, "What the fuck is this shit?
There's Black Santa.
Where's Black Santa? Where's Black Elves? Where's the Black Reindeer?"
There's no Santa. Well, there is a Santa, but he curses. Yeah, in the first one.
He might be my favorite character in this whole movie.
Ho, ho, fuck.
So, so this is the first time we're on top of our game. We're doing a movie that's currently in theaters. Yeah, so Black Christmas is a remake-ish of 1974.
Yeah, 1974.
Yeah, all right, 1974 Black Christmas, which
typically considered the first slasher film.
Yes.
Although I consider Psycho to be the first slasher film.
Why is that?
Because that's what Norman Bates does. He slashes.
Well, you're not wrong there.
And he's like a serial killer. So
yeah.
It's not like In the Woods or anything like that, but you know.
Right. Directed by Bob Clark.
A very, very interesting career, Bob Clark.
Yeah.
Directed 2 Christmas movies.
Well, man has a type, I guess.
Black Christmas and A Christmas Story.
Oh, he did a Christmas though. Yes. Wow, 2 wildly different.
I think he used the same font for the credits, which was throwing me off at the beginning of
Black Christmas.
Of Black Christmas, because I'm like, I think he's used the same fonts, and it's like the same neighborhood. Actually, it was filmed in Canada, as you can tell from some of the actors.
Which one? This one?
74 was filmed in Canada.
Here's a tidbit for you. I've only seen Christmas Story once.
Wow.
Yep.
I love it. So
I got to the end and I was like, well, I can check that off the little box, off the list, and go about my day.
He also directed Porky's.
Oh, that 80s ode to a different era of comedy, let's put it that way.
And he directed 2 of the worst films in existence, Baby Geniuses and Rhinestone.
What's your beef with Baby Geniuses?
It's awful.
All right, then. That makes sense.
Oh, God, no. That is a scary, awful film. Little babies should not be talking about sexual things. It's wrong. But then,
that's
fair. You have this film where Barb is just feeding wine to
some kid. So you want to get into this?
Let's get into this one. So 1974, Black Christmas stars Olivia Hussey, Margot Kidder,
yes,
Andrea Martin, and it tells the tale of a sad sorority that doesn't know how to hang up the fucking phone.
Right. Let's not forget John Saxon.
John Saxon.
Well. Enter the Dragons, John Saxon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right after Enter the Dragon. I think he was like signed on this movie 48 hours before it started filming.
Yeah, I heard that someone dropped out, so he had to make it from like New York to Canada or something like that in 48 hours to start filming. Whatever gets you a payday, man.
Yeah,
Whatever gets you a payday. There's a sorority who can't hang up the fucking phone. Hello, stop calling us. Hello, stop calling us. Hello,
I don't even think they know how to use a phone because Olivia Hussey is constantly like, hello, who is this? I can't hear you. Hello.
I'm not sure what that...
Could you let them talk?
Let them talk first? Yeah. It's kind of like me at work when the work phone rings. Hello. Can't hear you. Bye. Click.
Yeah, I kind of do that. Hello. Click. Okay.
Nobody saw that.
You tried.
But next time, click. So, man, let's get into it. So you watched this last week?
Yeah, I watched it last week. I actually rewatched it today.
Yeah.
Just to I couldn't remember what sorority they were in. And I think it's like, they actually don't say on Wikipedia. It's like Pi Kappa Epsilon.
I never knew my Greek letters.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're a sorority.
Yes. You chronicled part of your events of watching this to me.
I watched this with Joe Bob Briggs. So this already long movie was an extra half an hour to 45 minutes longer because he breaks in and gives you tidbits, which are always interesting. But God, this film just never seemed to end.
What's the runtime on this? It's like 98 minutes.
I know. Oh gosh, it is 98 minutes. It just never seemed to end for me.
It's the longest 2.5 hours of a 98 film you'll ever see.
So we open on the sorority. They're having their little Christmas soiree.
Right.
We have Jess, who is Olivia Hussey, who is dating her boyfriend Peter, played by Keir Dullea.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I always thought. Okay, now 2001 is like one of my favorite films of all time.
Yes.
And I always thought it was Keir Dullea.
That's what I thought it was. Is it not?
It's not. It's Keir Dullea.
Where is he from?
I have no idea.
Huh.
But
as Peter Smythe.
Yes, as Peter, a concert pianist who apparently has been in college for 28 years.
Yeah, he's not quite age appropriate for this role.
No. But she's dating Peter, and she is, pregnant.
You hate to see it.
You have Phyllis, who is Andrea Martin.
Yes.
Prior to Second City. You have Claire, who is the first one to get killed, so she really doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
She shows up
all.
occasionally throughout the film with a bag over her head.
That's one way of putting it.
And on the poster, so it's good work if you can get it. Act for 5 minutes and then sit in a rocking chair with a bag over your head.
Oh, yeah. She is the poster. Yeah.
And then Barb, played by Margot Kidder.
Yeah, Barb, my girl in this movie.
Who is apparently majoring in alcoholism. With a minor in child abuse.
I don't know what they were thinking when they wrote the character of Barb. I don't know what Margot Kidder was thinking when she accepted this role. I don't know what a director was thinking, what Bob was thinking when he filmed this shit.
But I don't think she's acting when she's drunk. And she is drunk throughout the entire film.
I wonder if there's like a whole different career trajectory for Barb's character. But then Kidder showed up and they're like, we can work around this. Let's work around this. Let's just weave it into the story. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's like Robert Shaw in that one scene in Shaw. It's just drunk at all time.
We're just going to keep it.
Yeah.
Keep rolling. Barb is a souse. She's just soused all the time.
Soused.
And we have Phil's boyfriend, who I can't remember. I think it's Jerry. I think his name is Jerry.
Is it Jerry in this movie? The dude that she grabs from the hockey game.
No, that's Chris. Okay, so Claire is dating Chris.
That's right.
He's taking her out in a boot. He's very Canadian.
Yeah. Well, they pick him up while playing hockey, so obviously.
And then Phil is dating Santa Claus. What is his name? Patrick.
No, that's not Patrick. That's
no.
Mike Rappaport.
Mike Rappaport was in this?
This is Michael Rappaport as Patrick.
My God.
Maybe this is a different, because his name isn't even highlighted.
I think that's a different Patrick, or Michael Rappaport. So I think his name was Patrick. So anyway, but they're all having a little Christmas party, and Claire is going home, or her father is picking her up the next day. So she goes upstairs to pack. Mm-hmm. And she finds Claude, the house cat.
The house cat.
Who she mistakenly thinks runs into her closet. I don't know. These girls are not bright.
No, that's one of the reasons I had issues with this movie. Is the whole movie is predicated on the fact that your main protagonists are stupid people.
Yeah.
Or just people who make really stupid decisions.
Incredibly stupid decisions.
Incredibly stupid. And I hate, because that shows that, to me, that's lazy film writing.
It is.
Screenwriting.
So she's packing up her clothes, and she hears a noise in her closet, and she thinks it's the cat. Even though she sees someone standing in her closet, she keeps going, Claude, is that you? I don't think the white cat turned into a giant
tall
guy.
human being. And if you're mistaking that cat for a human being, what does that cat really look like? Or what are you on?
So she goes into the closet and gets killed. She gets bag over head.
The old bag over the head.
Yeah, she gets suffocated and drug up to the attic.
As you do.
So here is where we learn Barb is having problems with her mother, so she decides to go on a ski trip.
Yeah, so I think the mother was supposed to come visit.
I think so.
And that was the call for Barb was her mother canceling on that trip, right?
Yeah,
Barb was kind of.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, well, everybody's just drinking in the back. Shut up, ladies.
So Barb decides to go on a ski trip with Jess and Phil. But they have a function the next day with little kids where Patrick dresses up as Santa.
Santa Claus. Oh, man. What time do these little bastards get here?
1 o'clock-ish. It all looks Yule-ish. I kind of love Margot Kidder in this film.
I strangely do.
But she looks 40.
Yeah. She's another one of those on a long program.
Yeah, she's like Max von Sydow. I think she was born 40. And just started from there.
Max von Sydow came out doing people's taxes.
I think he just came out like 46-year-old. Just speaking Swedish. Immediately went on stage.
What's my line? It's his first words.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe she's working on her master's, old Barb, in this movie.
So no one knows that Claire is dead up in the attic. They all just think that she's packing up
Right.
and she's going to leave in the morning.
Yeah.
Jess is telling Phil that, oops, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend Peter calls and she says, I need to talk to you.
Right.
I need to talk to you tomorrow. And he's like, well, I've been practicing for the recital because, it's a big recital tomorrow.
Which, there's so many questions about, the 70s.
So she goes, I'll meet you tomorrow and we can talk.
Right. And this dude, you can already tell, bit of a dick.
He's a
just
bit of
over
a
the
dick,
phone
and
conversation.
he's incredibly possessive, and he's a bit creepy.
Bit creepy.
Yeah.
Then again, look at 2001. Bit of an emotionless robot, both of them.
Yeah. So he does play that kind of emotionless, cold person really well.
Really well.
So the next day, Claire's dad shows up to pick her up, and of course she's dead.
Beautiful half a head of hair.
Yeah. Gets smacked in the head by a snowball. I feel so sorry for this.
That's how he comes onto the university campus.
Just smacked in the head with a snowball. He goes to the house and meets the house mother, who's, of course, a raging drunk. And hides her whiskey in books and into the toilet. It's like, honey, you're 59. You can actually drink it out in the open. You're old enough.
You've passed all the life tests.
Just put it in your purse.
She has some of the best parts of this movie. All her little bits of comedy, especially between the two of them.
Yeah, and this movie takes like little sidetracks. Like when Claire's dad goes to her room, they spend this long shot looking at a poster of an old woman.
We'll get through this.
I die. Of an old woman flipping you off.
Yes.
And I'm like, why? Why are we looking at this poster?
I guess they wanted to establish that these are a rowdy bunch. These girls are a rowdy bunch. And then this dude especially did not want his daughter ending up as one of the rowdy. Once she's got the hand over the poster the whole time.
The poster, because it's got Leonardo da Vinci's only just his bum.
Yeah.
Anyway, Claire, of course, is missing now. Mm-hmm. And she goes, maybe she's over at the children's party with Santa. Right. So he goes over there. Santa.
Yeah.
He goes over there, and of course, Phil's boyfriend is pissed because she's going skiing rather than going home with him. And then you get the ho shit.
Which, man, how many college kids do you know had the money to just wantonly up and go on a ski trip?
I don't know, man.
Didn't happen. happen.
These kids in both movies have money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And Barb's feeding wine to toddlers.
One of the kids. You get to start early in life.
I think this little bastard souse. So, of course, Claire is not there, and her father's getting really super worried.
Yes.
So, Jess goes to meet with Peter and tells him, I'm having an abortion. because I don't want to have your baby right before his recital.
Which, come on, man.
Best time to tell him.
You couldn't wait. Now, I really wonder, because, spoilers, his recital fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, was he just a shitty piano player to begin with, or was he just distracted?
He says he's been there 8 years. And I'm like, okay, if you've been in conservatory 8 years, maybe that's not for you.
Yeah, maybe it's not for you, buddy. Maybe it just sucks.
And of course, he's like 40 years old, so it looks like he's been there 20 years. But yeah, she's just like, yeah, I'm pregnant. I don't want it. I'm going to have an abortion.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you can't do that.
Now, you think she just didn't want to have a baby, or she didn't want to have his baby?
I don't think she wanted to have his baby.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe.
And I don't think she wanted to have a baby at that point.
Time. Yeah.
Because she gets into that later on.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'll come over later after the recital and we can talk some more. And she's like, okay, fine, that's fine. And then she goes to find Claire's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Getting his canna on.
Yeah.
Out there, he's the goalie.
And she's like, well, Claire's missing because her father came to pick her up and she's gone. And the police aren't taking anything seriously because Barb basically told them that their phone number was fellatio.
Yeah, it was
You get this very long, protracted fellatio joke.
It goes a bit long for a punchline. My question is, Claire's going off to spend some time with her family for some indiscriminate, a week or so, let's say. As a boyfriend, wouldn't you want to hang out with her that night before?
Well, you'd think so,
You would think so. He's been playing hockey for 12 hours straight.
That's right. He went straight from the party to the rink.
Save.
Yeah, he's just a goalie. He's just like, no, I'm in goalie mode.
Goalie mode. Can't disturb me in goalie mode, bro.
So she tells him that they're not taking it seriously because, she's a college chick and she hasn't been gone for 24 hours yet. So he goes storming down to the...
Yeah, he is real surly about it. Yeah. I like this guy.
I do too. Then we get another, strange, just side story of this 13-year-old clarinet player who's missing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're introduced to John Saxon, who plays the head detective. And he's talking to a mother whose daughter is missing. Yeah. And she's like, she's 13 years old and her father's a trucker and she's supposed to come home and she hasn't come home yet and I'm really worried. And then,
which is completely unrelated
to
this tale. But then I also wonder
does Billy kill her?
In the remake, while it's focused on this group of girls, you find out that it's happening to all of the sororities.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that was the case and we just never got to follow that story.
But she's 13.
That's true.
She's not in college.
Maybe she was like the warm-up kill?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, because we're missing the phone calls. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. We're all about the phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting obscene phone calls.
Yeah.
I have to say, these phone calls are actually really well done.
And they're creepy as shit.
They're creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, why are you not hanging up? Because this guy's like, I want to lick your piggy gut.
And he's like, go on.
And they're like all huddled around the phone receiver listening.
Like, oh, it's the guy again. It's the guy again.
Quick, come on. And they listen for 5 minutes. It's like, why are you listening?
Yeah, after the first...
you want? It's like...
After the first 10 seconds, nope, we're done here.
Like, blah, blah, click.
You'd
be up the stairs going, I wasn't done.
I have questions about this that I might have missed. Now, it is establishing, we'll jump ahead a little bit, that he's spending most of his time up in the attic.
Yeah.
Correct. Is there a phone in the attic?
Yeah. Because the headmistress has a secondary line. So...
Who puts phones in attics?
That's my question.
Okay, that's why I was so confused. Like, I've never heard of phones in attics before.
And I'm thinking, I don't know whether the phone is in the attic or in the headmistress's room. But there's a secondary phone line in the house.
So do you think he was just chilling? Wait a minute. So he's chilling in the attic, comes down, kills Claire, takes her back to the attic. And then just hangs out here until headmistress dips out because she has her own little trip she's going on. And then he's making all the phone calls from her secondary phone.
It's one of those things that's never quite, tons of shit are not explained in this film.
Yeah, like, why did this movie get made?
Yeah, tons of things are not explained in this film.
Right.
But yeah, you get strange phone calls where he's like, "What your mother and I want to know is where's the baby," and you have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, which on his end, like as he's dialing, he's like, "This is what I'm going to say this time. I'm going to get him this time."
I got it. Yeah. Let me get all my voices right.
Yeah, I'm running out of scripts. Me. Do re fa sol la ti do.
Okay, we're on.
We're just gonna make those noises for the next 45 minutes. You paid for this.
So the headmistress is going to her sister's for Christmas, and everybody is going out searching the park for the missing girl and Claire.
Yeah, right.
So the headmistress is like, "I'm going to go. So when you come back, I won't be here because I'm going to my sister's.
Yeah.
But at first, I've got to go up to the attic and look for my cat."
Look, man, how many times in movies have people died searching for a cat? It almost got Ripley clapped up in Alien.
I seriously have no idea how the cat got up into the attic.
Maybe, I guess
I'm assuming Billy just
brought
him up. Like, hey, come on.
Come on. I'll use you as my lure, my bait.
Because he's chilling on Claire's body. And
right.
And then the headmistress comes up and gets a hook to the head.
Yeah. Yeah, which that was every time we see the killer killing, it is from the POV of the killer, I guess, in an attempt to still protect the identity of this killer.
Which makes no sense because we never find out the identity of this killer.
Yeah, like, I just looked at the cast and be like, do we find out who Billy was?
No, not in this one.
Even in the credits. He's credited as Billy/phone voice.
Yeah.
Uncredited. And then a whole different dude as his shadow.
Yeah.
Why was he killing these kids?
You don't know.
Holy shit, man.
So he kills the headmistress, drags her up to the attic too.
That one hurt, man. I like that old lady.
I know. Yeah. She was kind of cool. But of course they come home and, they're not expecting her to be home because she's leaving.
Which is a brilliant setup for a movie. Just, all right, then you don't suspect somebody being killed because you think they're gone in the first place. Yeah. It's brilliant. Horrible execution.
Yeah, and Barb is upstairs sleeping off a drunk.
Yeah, of course.
And then Peter comes by and acts really creepy.
Real creepy.
Like, breaks into the house. Basically goes into the house, goes upstairs and sleeps. And comes down, scares the shit out of Jess because she's getting another...
down the steps all quiet and weird like.
Yeah, because she gets another phone call. And she calls the police and says, "I'm getting obscene phone calls."
Yeah.
And they don't take her seriously at first.
Now, let's take a second to the dude who's working the desk at this... Is it campus police or is it police?
It's police. The one that doesn't know what fellatio means.
Yeah, he's just a dick.
He's a terrible cop. None of the cops are really great in this film, as you'll see by the end.
I give it to John Saxon. He was putting in some work.
Yeah, but
at
the end,
who puts it all together. Wow.
So, she calls the police and says, "I'm getting obscene phone calls," and they realize it's the same house that the missing girl is missing from.
Yes.
So they decide to put a tap on the phone.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, look at this '70s technology, man."
Yeah,
brand new shit.
Where you have to keep the guy on the phone for like 5 minutes. No problem there. They just like to listen to him. So,
Oh, so just do what we normally do. All right, fine.
Meanwhile, Peter has his argument with Jess. I want to marry you. Because he goes to his recital, and his recital is a horrible horror show.
Horrid. That's the real horror show. This is listening to this dude's recital.
And then he takes a microphone stand to the grand piano.
Yeah. Oh, there's property damage there, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think that was your piano, dude.
Nope.
So he goes into
They'll never know it was me.
He goes and argues with her and uses the phrase, "It's not like having a wart removed." Which will come back. So they argue and he storms out as the police come in. And the police are like, "Well, who's that?
Suspect number one."
Yeah.
Yeah. As we're also meant to think.
Oh, that's Peter. Peter wouldn't hurt anybody.
You see how creepy this dude is? Yeah.
So they tap her phone and say, "You have to keep him on the line. You have to,
Yeah.
So she sits down and waits for a phone call to come in.
Yeah. The first call comes in as a legit call.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then a group of the most amazing carolers show up.
Right?
It's like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir shows up at the front door.
Also, the most soulless kids I have ever seen in a film. Eyes just staring off into
as they
nothing.
sing.
Dead
Come
eyes.
let us adore him. Because while they're singing, Billy's upstairs using a crystal unicorn on Barb.
Yes, Barb is getting clapped up.
Yeah.
Whilst was she even awake? No.
No, she woke up
sleeping.
a little bit, and then he just stabs her with this crystal unicorn.
And then thus ends the role of Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
We're not sure why she was here in this movie in the first place.
Probably for the booze. And here's the first time you get to see his eye, because they focus on his eye.
Yes, they do.
And then the caroler stops singing, just so she can't hear screaming upstairs.
Does she scream?
And she makes noises.
Yeah, but it's muffled by
the
dead carolers.
Yeah. And then somebody comes up and says, "Now we have to get the kids home. A dead girl's been found in the park," because they find the body of the 13-year-old girl.
Right.
And
completely unrelated.
Yeah, I have no idea who killed this girl. I'm assuming it's Billy.
We're led to assume because that's the only murder in this movie.
Killer, but you don't know because they don't tell you.
Yeah, I was sitting on the couch and we found the 13-year-old girl, and I was like, "Huh." Okay.
well, that solves that subplot. Yeah. Thank you.
Neatly wraps that up.
So Phyllis goes back and she's like, "I'm going to go upstairs, check on Barb, and go to bed." Mm-hmm. And she goes to check on Barb, and of course, Barb's dead.
Barb's done.
And that door closes, and Phil is now gone.
Yep.
So then we get another phone call.
There we go.
Just like having a wart removed.
Which leads me to believe that he was just in the attic with his ear pressed to the ground, listening to the whole conversation.
Which is like creepy.
Yeah.
This does play on one of my biggest fears, which is there's somebody in my attic and just wants to come down and kill me.
Okay. All right.
Sneaks out and steals food.
Peanut butter sandwiches. I could have sworn I had 2 slices in here the
Where
other
did
day.
all the food go? So
the guy in the attic just waits for Christmas. Come on, Santa cookies.
yeah. So Barb and Phil are dead. Mm-hmm. She gets another phone call, and they finally track
now,
it.
Is this the originator?
Yes.
Of the call is coming from inside the house.
It was an urban legend prior to this, but this is the first film that uses the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head because
When a Stranger Calls, was 78. I think.
Yeah, a couple years later.
Yeah.
I was like, this is almost like the call is coming. Oh, that's what they're doing here in this movie.
So they because the doofy cop, the cop that has no idea what fellatio is, calls the police
for good
chief.
reason probably.
Calls the police chief and says, "Oh, it's coming from this house." No, dummy.
Hey, dummy. That's where it's going to.
No, it's coming from there as well. So it's like, okay, call her. Just tell her to put the phone down and leave. Don't tell her why. Just tell her to put the phone down and leave.
I have issues with this. I see it from his point of view, like we don't want this
panic
girl to panic. But if we tell her why, they'll get her out quicker.
Exactly.
Any normal being would just be like, all right, put the phone down. If I got, she has to ask 1,000,001 questions.
Why?
Why?
And he tells her.
You know what? All the dumb shit he did in this movie, I 100%.
I agree with that one.
Yeah,
Tell her why to get the fuck out of the house.
No, you dummy, get out the house.
Get out of the house. The killer is upstairs.
And she's like, gosh, I better go upstairs and see what's happening.
But then she sees a shadow. Well, she goes upstairs and she finds Barb and Phil dead.
Yep, done.
And she goes running downstairs, but the door won't open because they've established in this one tiny little scene that the door sometimes sticks.
Yeah. Scriptwriter is like, throw something in there real quick.
So she can't leave. So she goes down to the basement. And this is where creepy boyfriend Peter becomes the creepiest boyfriend ever.
At this point, I was convinced it was his ass.
Because he comes down, and for some reason, he's looking in the basement.
Yeah, not sure why. Because
she's hiding.
Yeah.
It's not like she's screaming or making a ton of noise. She's grabbed a poker.
Yeah.
And she's just hiding down there. Jazz, are you down there?
And he's just like, hey, trying to be creepy over here.
And he's like looking in, and then he breaks a window and gets in there. And I'm like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? There was me in that high-pitched voice saying that many times in this film. What are you doing?
So the cops get there.
Yes.
And she has killed Peter.
Right.
Jess has killed Peter with the poker. But you know it's not him.
Unintentionally. She's like, this is my time.
Finally. Tell me what to do with my body, you motherfucker.
My choice. Runs him through.
But this is where you realize that it's not him because you've seen Billy's eye, and his eye is brown.
Yeah.
And Keir Dullea has blue eyes.
Blue eyes, yeah.
So,
I feel like this whole Peter subplot was just meant to be the red herring of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then his actions just make no sense in service of that plot. Yeah.
No, because he's creeping around the house. He sits there and hangs out and
creepy long
breaking
hair.
windows. It's like, dude, mullet and turtleneck, what are you doing?
Not a good combo. Not on him.
Then we get the wonderful scene where they drug Jess to calm her down, put her in bed, and everyone leaves the fucking house.
I think that whole bit of business happens. They drug her. I think that's when I went and peed real quick. Came back, sat down, and she's in bed. And I was like, okay, obviously they've taken her to a hospital at this point. Nope.
Hospital's full.
It pulls out, and I'm like, this is a bedroom. It's not a hospital. What are you doing?
They have left her alone in this house. They have not checked the attic.
No. Why have you not checked every access point?
They have.
Jesus Christ.
Doors
and corners, guys.
Left this traumatized pregnant woman alone in the house. And then you go up to the attic, and there's Claire in her bag in her rocking chair, and there's Mrs. Mack over there with her head all bloody.
Yep.
And there's Billy just and then the phone rings.
Yeah. Who's he calling? There's nobody left.
Come on, wake up, Jess. Come on, somebody's got to pick up.
So her fate is left unknown.
Right.
Are we to assume that he goes down and kills her?
Yeah. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, because he's been listening in on everybody else's shit, so I assume he listened in on all the conversations the cops had, and he knows that he left.
He knows that they're alone. They're alone.
So we have this killer. We don't know how he got in the attic in the first place.
Yeah, no, we don't know how he got there.
We have no motive.
No. Why did he choose these sorority girls? Don't know. Did he kill the 13-year-old? Don't know.
Don't know.
Who is Billy? Don't know.
Don't know.
Who's Agnes? Because they're like, where's Agnes, Billy? And one of his voices is like, where's Agnes, Billy? And I'm like, who's Agnes? Don't know.
I got so many questions.
You just don't know.
We could make a better film than this, I think.
At
or
least
is a film not even like better made technically, but a film that has more narrative sense to it.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a terrible film. It's got its moments. I think the comedy doesn't hit.
The comedy,
as much as it wants to,
only hits twice for me.
Yeah.
It hits with
Jerry is the Santa.
Oh, I forgot about that. 3 times. Jerry is because he's just surly.
Or I want to call him Jerry. I don't know why I want to call him Jerry. His name's Patrick.
Him as the Santa, but that's like just 2 little bit parts.
Yeah.
The house mother and the dad, their little bit of back and forth. That's some good comedy. And I don't know why, but the other police detective that's there.
Yeah. The one who's laughing.
Who's laughing about the flake because he knows what's coming. And he's just waiting for John Saxon to get there, and he's just so amused.
John Saxon's looking up the phone number from the records, and it's like Fellatio 6410 or something like that.
Yeah, it's the new transfer code, right?
But no, one of the sorority girls gave it to me.
Yeah,
she gave it to you.
That's when I lost it. That's when
Yeah, I don't think there's more comedic moments, but that don't quite hit.
That don't land. Yeah,
and it just seems to meander.
Yeah, I feel like there was either a lot lost in editing or they were trying to do too much in one film.
And I don't necessarily mind that Billy isn't caught.
No, that I don't mind at all.
But you have to kind of tell us who he is.
I do kind of mind that because Billy isn't caught just due to sheer incompetence.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, just get this woman to a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, done and done. Billy's just left up there in a cold, dead house, no one else there. Right. And he's like, now what do I do?
Oh, shit, what do I call now?
I don't have any other numbers.
Domino's.
30 minutes or less, sir. Have a good day. Yeah, so that's the 74
Black Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah. It wasn't a total bomb. I mean, it actually did very well in Canada.
You don't say. Scotch Carol had some fun times watching this movie.
Oh man.
And I had some fun times reading those texts.
Yeah, it was going. Like I said, I watched the Joe Bob Briggs Red Christmas special. It was uncut there, but man, he cut in so many times I didn't realize because it was 2.5 hours. So he added an entire hour.
He added in a whole other movie almost of just stuff.
And I was like, oh my God, does this ever end? But yeah, I had never watched this beginning to end, really.
I was trying to see what this is on Rotten Tomatoes, but I couldn't.
It's kind of a beloved horror film.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's as good as everyone says it is.
70%.
I would put it more at 60.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, put a little bit lower than that. A little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, the phone calls are creepy, but why are you listening to them?
Yeah, there's a lot of unexplained choices and questionable decision making.
And speaking of unexplained choices and questionable decision making,
you know what? That 70% is a lot higher than
the one for 2019's Black Christmas.
Black Christmas, sitting at 30 some odd percent, if I remember correctly, both audience and critic score.
Oh God! Okay.
Yeesh.
So this is kind of a remake in name only. Mm-hmm. They use a couple of the beats. It's set in a college. Sorority girls are targeted.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yeah, like there's
the cat shows up. It's Claudette now though because women.
I will say this: the story to this, while nonsensical, at least makes more sense than the story of the original.
Yeah, it kinda. So we're in Hawthorne College, and we meet the sorority. I can't remember the Greek letters.
Their letters are.
Whatever. And our main character is Riley, who was sexually assaulted by one of the Deke boys, which I don't get because I remember their Greek letters. It's Alpha, Kappa, Omega, and they're called the Dekes. And I'm like,
that never made any sense to me.
Where the fuck did Deke come from Alpha, Kappa, Omega?
Let's see. Did they tell us here? Nope. Even the Wikipedia summary for this gives us Alpha, Kappa, Omega, and also another is the MKE. So
they're
Kappa Epsilon, right?
Yeah. So that's the sorority.
That's the sorority.
Okay. Yeah. Riley was sexually assaulted by one of the Deke boys.
Right.
And nobody believed her. And so
he skated on through. Surprise.
Yeah. Surprise.
How topical. So Brock Turner appears in this film. But he's a great swimmer, so he got off.
Yeah. And Carrie Elwes shows up as a professor, a misogynistic professor. Teaching
as a man struggling to pay his rent. Oh, you mean the character, not Carrie Elwes.
Oh man, it's a hard time for Dread Pirate Roberts.
The Twister money is drying on up. Huh?
All that soft cash is gone now. So he's this misogynistic professor that teaches the classics, and this is one of the things this drives me crazy with uber feminist scripts because I am a feminist.
Yes,
but. It's like, okay, so one of the sorority girls, and I only remember two names. I saw this yesterday, and I remember two names. I remember Riley. And I remember Helena, because she has a necklace that says Helena.
Yeah, I always, in my head, it was Riley, it was Helena, it was Sassy Black Girl.
Yep.
And then it was the clueless one. The one that was like, oh, no, you guys are fighting, I got to dip out.
Right, and then the one with the boyfriend.
And then the one with the boyfriend.
That was how I remember them.
Pretty much.
So... Sassy Black Girl has a petition going to remove this misogynistic professor.
And she's already succeeded in getting
the bust of the
purpose to do the college is named after, right?
Calvin Hawthorne.
Yeah.
They removed the bust into the fraternity. This plays a part. God. So they've removed the bust into the fraternity. And she's trying to get this professor removed because he's not teaching her classics. But I'm like, okay, what class does he teach?
Yeah, they just said the classics.
So,
yeah. I'm assuming it's a literature class.
But it's like, okay, if I'm taking Shakespeare, I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of women writers on my reading list.
Yeah.
Or if I'm taking Russian literature, I'm not going to get a whole lot of minority voices.
And no, if it is just classic.
The classics.
Is it just classic literature? Maybe something that broad? Do they have that as a... That seems like an awful broad, but yeah.
That seems classics. Very broad.
Yeah.
So...
The classics according to him.
Yeah. So, again, it's one of these... Men be bad, yo. So he's a jerk and a misogynist, and he picks on Riley. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to perform at this fraternity the next night. And I'm like, why are you performing for these assholes?
Yeah, because, this is their chance to stick it to them.
But why?
Yeah.
So you get your first...
but this does something sound... It seems like a type of bad decision made by people this age.
True. But it's like a series of bad decisions.
There's a lot of escalating bad decisions made in this film.
So Riley's not performing, but 4 of her sorority sisters are.
Right.
And they are...
I feel like...
Who's the first... We get the Claire. Because the first girl that dies... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that the one with glasses?
I just saw this yesterday. No. Oh, yeah, because these are so uber feminist. They talk about diva cups and
yeah, it was a diva cup.
Give dildos to each other for Christmas. And that's just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was not expecting any of this in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm such a girly girl, I can put a pad on while standing in front of you. Because women do that. Apparently.
Yeah, it's Diva Cup is the first one to get taken out.
I think there's another one. It's the girl that's supposed to go home but doesn't make it. Oh, Diva Teresa. Cup? No, the first girl walking through the neighborhood. Okay, so her name's Lindsay.
I don't know where you pulled that from. Carol took an extra dose of her ginkgo biloba this morning.
So Lindsay is walking back to her car because she's driving home.
Yes.
And she gets followed by this dude in a cape.
Which, why not? Why not?
Because that's where we're heading here. I don my mask and wizard cape. And she gets killed with an icicle.
Yeah, which, all right, inventive. I'll give you that. I guess, inventive.
And she's our poster. Because the first kill is always the poster, because the poster, I think, is the angel.
Of her struggling with
and she makes a snow angel. At least, I think that's the poster I saw.
That's not the poster I have here. But anyways.
Well, who cares? Who cares?
The person who designed the poster, and that's it. And that person's mom.
So she's gone.
Yep, done.
Yeah.
Clapped by an icicle, which gives you that little bit of tension where you think it's the guy that's behind, who's minding his own damn business on the phone.
And he's just going to a bar.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she didn't run after him when the other dude starts chasing. This whole chase scene
call
is
for
like
help. Something? Did she call for help?
She like knocks on the door.
You know what? It made me think about Poltergeist.
Yeah, or Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
neighbors like.
Yeah. But she doesn't do a whole lot to save herself.
No, she doesn't.
This is an entire movie where no one has ever kicked a dude in the balls.
Right.
Because every time I'm like, kick him in the balls.
Kick him in the balls, yeah.
Kick him in the balls. Kick. Hello? Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Balls. They're right there. Dangler, right there.
So she's out of the way. And then the next day, girl with glasses gets offed.
Yes.
Because she's supposed to go home, and then she gets sidetracked by the cat.
And, gets clapped there.
Yeah, she gets strangled with...
Christmas lights.
Lights.
Yeah, Christmas lights.
Yeah, because they have, for some bizarre reason, they have flashing Christmas lights inside their house. I don't know why. Look, these girls make bad decisions.
Bad decisions.
So they go to perform at this fraternity.
And they're one short.
Yeah, they're one short. Yeah. Because
Christmas light girl.
No, the
ice pick girl.
The girl, Helena, the good girl. She's like gets super drunk and almost gets molested, kind of, sort of, maybe, because you don't know at the end of this movie what was going on.
Was that a setup?
I think it was a setup. Anyway, but she gets super drunk and she gets sick, so Riley takes her place, and they all dress up like slutty Santas, and they sing this song about being molested in the fraternity. Mm-hmm. And
And the guys are properly embarrassed, ashamed, and change their ways. The end.
No.
Oh.
They, of course, are pissed.
Yeah.
And, half the side is cheering, and the other half is...
Yeah. And then Billy shows up.
And then Riley meets this nice guy named Landon.
Weirdest dude I've seen in a movie this year. And I saw Midsummer finally.
He's super sweet and really in touch with his feminine side.
Yeah. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And so they hit it off, and they go out to party because they just stuck it to those fraternity jocks. And while they're at the fraternity, Riley sees this strange magic ceremony happening.
Yeah.
Where black goo is coming out of the bust of Calvin Hawthorne.
Yeah.
And they're putting it on the foreheads of the initiates. So...
Which, I don't know, you know what? I think I let that slide because frats do some weird shit.
They do.
So if I looked in, I'd be like, well, I just witnessed some weird shit happening.
That's why I'm not in a sorority. Yay.
Yeah, right.
So, Glasses Girl gets killed. Lindsay gets killed. And then all hell breaks loose because guys start attacking the actual house. Mm-hmm. These robed dudes come in with bows and arrows. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, this is not what I was expecting at all.
Because they're having an orphans dinner for everyone who's left at the college.
Is this an actual thing? Do they actually call it orphans dinner?
So I worked Ren Fair for like years and years and years, and we always had Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving happened the week after Carolina Ren Fest.
Right.
And we always had Orphans Thanksgiving, which is anybody who couldn't make it home is welcome in our home.
Okay, so, that's what's up.
Yeah, so it's kind of called orphans.
Okay.
But so they're having the orphans dinner. And, they've invited Landon, nice guy Landon.
Nice guy. Trademark.
And these guys with bows and arrows show up and start shooting people.
Yeah.
And now, to their credit... Sorry, you're probably going to have to edit that out.
So I'll figure it out.
So to their credit, they start fighting back. Oh, and then... Okay. So we're talking about consensual... What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
because Riley was sexually assaulted.
Yes.
But then her friend actually does something really horrible to her as well because she films them performing at this fraternity and then uploads it to the internet without Riley's consent.
Which was it? The boyfriend that did that?
No, it was Sassy Black Girl.
Oh, Sassy Black. Yeah, Sassy Black Girl. Yeah, because she's like, I don't see what they do. They need to be. I guess her whole beef was they need to be outed.
Yeah. And Riley's like, I'm not okay with that. It's like, you didn't even ask her?
Yeah. Sassy Black Girl, I had issues with.
So did I, because I'm like, this isn't a strong character.
No.
This is a caricature.
Yeah.
And
this is Foxy Brown, light.
And you're basically just doing horrible things to your friends without their consent as well.
Right.
So anyway, the girls start to fight back and they stab one of the guys with keys and they realize that he's not bleeding. He's oozing
the goo.
Black goo.
Yeah, it's the X-Files shit. Nick Krychek was there.
Yeah. So they're like, what the hell is this? And
appropriately.
Yeah. And then girl with boyfriend has a fight with boyfriend.
Yeah, like he just got extra sassy.
Well, that's the statue taking hold of his brain
yeah.
because he got a headache. And that's the alpha male. Because what this is the statue of Calvin Hawthorne is totally cursed and black magicked. And any guy that gets the goo on him or comes into close contact with the statue, his alpha male will come out.
Yes.
And that, of course, immediately turns all men into misogynistic assholes. I did like how boyfriend.
But that turn was just so randomly sudden. Not well done.
It was not. It was not well done at all. And I don't even know what message this movie was trying to portray because I didn't like any of the girls either.
I mean, I think the message was trying to portray women stick up for yourselves. Men bad.
But yeah. Which I don't buy. So I did like that boyfriend when he went alpha male was like, I will protect the women, and then like immediately gets killed.
Yeah. That made my day.
So, no, I will fight, donk, and he's dead. So,
come out here, you cowards! Done.
Girlfriend gets shot in the leg, so she's hobbled.
Yes.
Naive girl goes up into the attic to look for Christmas lights.
Yeah, because that's when the realization that that old girl, the sassy black girl, put up the views, and our Riley is not cool with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where the fight starts. And
she goes up to go look for Christmas lights because she can't handle fighting.
I'm not sure what her purpose in this movie was.
I haven't body.
Yeah,
because she gets killed up in the attic.
Yeah.
And then Riley and sassy black girl. I gotta find her name. It's killing me now. It's killing me. Oh dear.
Because they hop in the car.
They hop in the car and they're like, "We're gonna go to the police." And Riley, Jesse. Her name is Jesse. Marty. Chris. Her name is Chris.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, her name is Chris. They hop into the car. And they're like, we're going to go to the police. And Riley's like, they won't believe us. They never believe me. But I figured it out. It's the bust of this guy. We got to go.
Right. Which I do like. I think right about here is where you get the reveal.
Right.
That it's not just them.
Not just them. It's another sorority. All the sororities. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it another one, or I just assume all of them at this point?
I'm assuming it's all of them, but they only show one more.
Okay. Yeah. It's a coordinated assault against the Alpha Man.
And it's Christmas time, so the college is not. There's not a whole lot of people left on the campus.
Right.
So they go to the fraternity house, and Landon's with Riley. And she's like, you create a distraction, and I'm going to go into the magic room and destroy the statue.
Yeah, sure enough, Landon gets
turned.
Gets turned, man. You hate to see it. That performance wasn't great.
No.
Nothing of Landon's performance was great.
Riley finds Helena, who had disappeared, tied up, and she's like, oh, thank God you found me. And then you find out that Helena has turned because she's perfect. Yeah, she's perfectly fine being an obedient little girl.
Yeah.
Because you find out that the mastermind behind this whole thing is the professor.
Of course. Which they reveal in the trailer.
Yeah. It's not really a big surprise.
The way he was acting beforehand, you're like, oh.
Is this a red herring? No.
No.
Okay.
It's
just a herring.
It's a wonderfully seared herring. I remember when I saw the trailer for this in front of whatever it was I was there to watch. And I text you and I was like, oh man, why are they obviously showing that Carrie Elways is the bad guy? And you're like, I haven't seen any of the trailers. Whoops. Sorry, I spoiled that one for you.
It was like, I don't even know if they were trying
to hide it.
I
don't think they were trying to hide it. Especially if not just that very first scene, we see how dickish she is.
Yeah.
The scene where it's just Carrie Elways and Riley, and she's trying to get into the fraternity. Yeah, and he catches up with her there. That whole bit of conversation, which I'm pretty sure she would have died in that scene.
Probably.
He was luring her in for the kill.
Yeah.
It was almost like De Niro and Goodfellas with Lorraine Bracco's character.
Yeah.
Just stay a little further down. Just it's going a little further down.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of. Only not shittily.
Yeah.
Done.
So the big plan is that this professor is, with black magic, transforming these guys into alpha males.
Yes.
And then he's going to unleash them into the world where they'll become lawyers and doctors and politicians, and women will be put in their place.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only 10 guys. So it's like...
and only one statue. So these guys got a lot of work to do.
At one college. So I'm like, okay, did you think you're playing through?
Your short game is good. I'll give you that. You got a good short game.
Did you not realize that people would probably notice if 2 entire sororities disappeared?
Right. Do a little bit of investigative work into this, maybe FBI gets involved. But no.
There are obscene phone calls. There was obscene texts, and this made me laugh out loud. People were staring at me in the theater because there was actually people with me in the theater last night. But I laughed out loud because in the original you have Billy call up and
I want to lick your big pussy, your biggie cunt.
And here you have this fake Calvin Hawthorne account texting a pig emoji and a cat emoji. And I'm like, wow.
they way to link it back. Way to link it all back.
Wow. Texting is really, really, really made obscene phone calls hard to do.
Kind of obsolete these days.
See, I do a pig and a cat and then that zucchini there. Yeah, that.
Where's the little tongue out emoji in there? I also had people in my theaters. Unfortunately, I had 2 old black ladies and there's 5 of us total. Me in the very back row. Because I was like, let me just sit in the very back. That way I can still just fuck around on my phone while I watch this movie. And a couple people up front. And 2 old black ladies sat right beside me.
Oh, my God.
And then they just proceeded to commentate throughout the entire thing. And I was like, if this was not for a podcast, I would just get up and leave.
If this was not for a podcast, I probably wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, there's also that.
So, yeah, so that is his big plan, to put women in their place because alpha males should rule the world. And yada, yada, yada. These 10 guys are going to take over the world.
Hey, man, you got to start somewhere, I guess.
And Landon's a part of them now.
But
then sassy black chick, Chris, comes back with some sorority sisters.
Yeah, yay.
And goes, nah, you messed with the wrong sister, motherfucker. And starts beating the shit out of him.
Yes. And then is the statue toppled over?
Yeah. Riley topples the statue. And then they basically burn all the fraternity brothers alive, except for Landon.
Nice guy, trademark.
Nice guy.
Landon makes it out.
Because, he was overcome by that black goo, and it wasn't me. It wasn't really me. Except, what about the other guys that were overcome by the black goo that you just locked in that burning fraternity?
I never even thought of that. That's a good point. Like, I'm pretty sure those guys probably started out dicks to a degree.
There's already a couple that obviously aren't turned. They don't have the black eyes. They're just assholes. The guy that assaulted Riley is obviously just an asshole.
Yeah, I don't think Carrie Elway's had the goo either, so he was just an asshole too.
But there's other dudes.
Man, I hate to see it. I didn't even think about that.
They're under the influence.
Unfortunate, man. Maybe that's what they get for being part of this fraternity in the first place. I got nothing, man.
But Landon he's a nice guy.
He's not trademark. He's a nice guy.
So all of the girls die except for Chris and Riley.
Yeah.
Which, again, so Helena turns and betrays everybody and brings them the Diva Cup and all of the stuff that they need, I don't know why, to kill the girls. Mm-hmm. But then they kill her. And it's like, well, if you're going to kill all the bad women and you're going to kill all the good women, where are you going to find the women?
Well, hopefully there's some nice girls trademark out there as well. I don't know.
I don't know. Nobody thought this plan through at all.
I think I was out of the theater before the top line of the credits hit the very top of the theater.
This was a bad film.
This was not a great film.
No, I can't even find saving graces in it. It's just...
No.
Nope.
No. What was this, PG-13 or R?
This was PG-13.
Man, come on, Blumhouse. You're better than this.
Yeah, I know.
Better than this. So I guess it comes down to the question of which one is better. Shit or shit with flies on it.
I'm going with the original. It's not great, but it's better than the remake. I did, for shits and giggles, watch the 2006 remake.
Yeah.
Which is more of an actual remake of Black Christmas.
Okay.
Because it has Billy in it.
Okay. Is Billy explained it all?
Yes. They actually give him a last name and a backstory, which is ridiculously stupid. And kind of... It includes incest with his mother. He's like... the father of his sister Agnes, and if you're into eye trauma, the 2006 Black Christmas is for you.
As a person who has had eye trauma, I am not into eye trauma. If I was a person who had never had eye trauma, I would still not be into eye trauma.
So yeah, they do explain Billy, but and he dies at the end of the 2006 one. But oh my God, it's a bad film.
So of all the three Black Christmases, the original one probably stands.
The original one stands.
All right.
But yeah, the 2006 one, it's Andrea Martin shows back up as the house mother.
Hey, what do you know?
Gets killed with an icicle.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
Just falls off the roof and kills her. Billy doesn't even kill her. An icicle falls off the roof and kills her.
Wow. They're like, hey, we got this respectable role for you to come back to as an homage.
And we're just going to kill you with an icicle.
And we're going to kill you with an icicle.
So, yeah. I don't know. I don't quite understand the level of Black Christmas.
Let's let this property lie for about 40 years or so.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So, do we want to roll again for January?
Well, we rolled for Ocean's 11 the other.
Do we want to do Ocean's 11?
What's your thoughts on this? You want to roll again?
Let's roll again.
Anything Carol can do to get out of doing this.
Get out of the fucking Rat Pack. Almost as bad as the Brat Pack.
One of these days, I will hear your beef with the Oceans.
I have a beef with Frank Sinatra.
Ah, okay.
We are ending on 11.
Which is?
It's not Ocean's 11. That's for damn sure. Open Your Eyes and Vanilla Sky.
Well, okay.
That's different. I had totally forgot I had put that on the list.
Oh, man. I kind of just want to cut it right there. That's different. Cut. All right, then. So Open Your Eyes and Vanilla Sky. It's Tom Cruise joint.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Well.
So the first one's Spanish. You got to read it.
Oh, that's not a problem. All right. Well, I guess we will be back in January.
Where we will open our eyes to some Vanilla Sky.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a good New Year out there. Make sure you are safe out there in those streets.
Indeed. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And we will see you next time around. Take it easy.